And Louise, we don't see much of the Sussex children, which is totally understandable. And to be quite honest, that's an observation more than it is a criticism. It's also been reported that they won't be appearing in the upcoming Netflix series. What do we know about this?
That's right, Caro. So the two new Netflix projects, part of this sort of, mega deal they've got with Netflix. One is a documentary which will follow Harry around the polo set. Of course, it's a sport he's played since he was a child. All his friends play it. He's well in with the polo set, so that'll be interesting to see the stories that are revealed as part of that, of course. And there's a big polo community, of course, in Montecito where they live now. And the second project is Meghan's sort of lifestyle TV program where she'll combine her sort of shared passions of gardening and cooking as well. She really wants to take on the Martha Stewarts of this world and sort of, establish herself. Gwyneth Paltrow move over. She really wants to be the lifestyle queen of TV and probably globally as well. It's interesting because maybe Lilibet and Archie could form part of that Netflix documentary with Mum in the Kitchen, but clearly they've made a decision to exclude them from that. And I think that's commendable in a way because a lot of celebrities do tend to keep their children in as much of a private situation while they're growing up, so they're not exposed to the sort of lens of the paparazzi and, all the headlines and so forth. And the difference here, of course, is that Lilibet and Archie are not being technically trained to be working royals, as we've just mentioned. So there's no need really to sort of allow them to practice or get used to sort of performing or going to press events on camera. So that's a big difference, of course, with the Wales's kids who, are slowly being nurtured into that life because they will be working royals.
Absolutely. And Bronte, there's been much said in the news this week about American Riviera Orchard and the launch of Meghan's strawberry jam. Now, what was the strategy around this and how do you think it's landed?
Well, this brand launched about a month ago and it was so mysterious. Even now, there's not really any details on the actual page, the Instagram page or the website about what it's going to do. But we do know through sources talking to the media that it's, of course, a lifestyle brand, as we've just been talking about, and it's attached to a TV show. But the first cab off the rank of what it will actually sell is jam, we now know. So the way this was launched was interesting. It was highly curated. So there were 50 homemade jams that were sent out in quite lavish little packages. And it was sent to a group of people that are quite close with Meghan, who are highly influential, have very high net worths, and they have posted it on their own social media. So this isn't an official announcement and not an official product launch. Instead, they were sort of dripped out there to this group that have then put them out in front of their audience. So it's kind of reached that target audience pretty quickly. To be honest, I think it's pretty clever. I think that we've all been watching very closely for what Meghan's going to do and how she's going to do it. I think this is an area she's pretty comfortable in. It's actually nice to have something new and tangible that she's doing that's not just sort of a look back at everything that happened while she was a royal. And I think that it is effective in the way that it's put her product in front of the people that are most likely to engage with it. So, look, we'll see how it all plays out. I'm cautiously optimistic, but I think it's an interesting start.
And Louise, back to Harry, and we know he's heading to the UK soon. There's plenty of speculation, as always, around this visit. Have the details firmed up yet?
Well, what we do know, Caro, is May 8th is the 10th anniversary of the Invictus Games. So he's expected to be back in the UK, actually in London at St Paul's Cathedral for a sort of service to commemorate that. What we don't know is whether, of course, Meghan or the children, in fact, will accompany him. I think this trip is sort of causing a bit of angst, certainly within his brother's circles, because it's not as though Harry can do a quick in and out or dash into the UK and then leave quickly, given the news that we all know, of course, that his father has cancer and his sister-in-law has cancer. So there is some suggestion that a meeting will be arranged between the estranged brothers and maybe some kind of public appearance, not some kind of press call or some sort of event. More likely they'll be seen together in public to sort of suggest that they can actually get along together and maybe the ice is thawed between them given their respective health battles in the family. But it'll be interesting to see what happens. But certainly if Harry just sort of dashes in and out, it won't be a good look for him. He has to be very careful of the optics on this trip.
Yeah, I agree with that, absolutely. Great observation there. And Bronte, another great piece from you this week. You've been on fire this week, Dal, about bullying allegations made against Meghan by a former staff member. Now, obviously, these are just allegations, but what is the substance of them?
Yeah, absolutely. They are just allegations, and Meghan has firmly denied them, as did Harry in his memoir last year. But look, basically, this all stems back to, you may recall that a few days before Harry and Meghan's Oprah interview, allegations surfaced of bullying from their staff, and the palace said that they were actually launching an internal investigation. Now, the results of this and any further details have actually never been released, so we don't know anything further about it other than Harry and Meghan's denial. But in a new interview with the Herald Sun, a wide-ranging interview actually about palace life, it was fascinating. Their former staffer, who was a very senior palace aide, her name's Samantha Cohen. Now, she worked for the Queen for 17 years very closely, and then was seconded to Harry and Meghan for only about 18 months before she left royal duties altogether. Now, that sparked a lot of speculation, of course, and there were reports at the time that she'd had a difficult time working for them. Now, she wouldn't draw in further on these allegations, but she did confirm in this new interview that she was one of 10 people who was interviewed about the allegations. So that's really one of the first firm details we've gotten about what went on since it emerged that there was going to be an investigation. And I don't think we will find out much more, to be honest. This seems to have been quite tightly held.
Yeah, no, oh, well, there might be something more, but who knows what will happen there. Now, Louise Roberts, Bronte Coy, thank you so much for joining me this evening.